If you want to believe that Belle went from a 200-pound person to a 130 or 140-pound person, that much fat evaporated in the fire, it didn't do it with the kids.
He was packaged like he was dressed out like a hunted animal, like a deer. You know, somebody knew what they were doing when they took care of him, and he was packaged quite nicely. And he was bled. There was no blood. They think they found the parts of 35 to 40 different people. The media was from all over the world. The German media was there, the English media, French.
And hundreds and hundreds of people would come down.
The rose on a string once behaved, was it not a flame? What once was.
Back then they were all dressed up. Ladies had parasols, and they going right to where they had the graves, and there were people watching them dig.
So I sleep with a white heart, once red and unbroken. I keep it apart.
He said it was like a circus scene, and they were selling food and beverages. It's like, boy.
They just stopped digging. They don't know whether they found other bodies or not. People had Belle sightings. They were always saying they saw her in the yard looking for something, or... I mean, she became a myth, and she still is.
oppe i skogen der du ser han mannen der, enda litt lenger bortover. Så kanskje ikke den... Altså gikk det, vi må kjøre opp bakken her og en 400 meter, 300 meter kanskje. Minneplata som ble satt opp av historielaget i Selden. Her er han Jon Arvid Størseth som eier området nå. Så det er jo øverste huset i bygda det her på en måte, før du kommer inn til Langle.
Er det mange som kommer og besøker det stedet her, eller?
Nei, det har vært en del akkurat i det siste. Du må komme tilbake og ta noen sommerbilder, vet du, fordi at det er litt bedre å se da, området. Ja, det er det. Ja.
Hallo, Brynjar.
Det er det lille huset, det er det brønnehuset det, vet du. Så vi sto jo omtrent her vi da, ikke sant, når vi var oppe der.
Hei, ja.
Nei, kom igjen.
Det er så langt tilbake i tiden. Her er det ingen annen enn hun som har ansvaret for. Slekta kan ikke belastes for det her. Dess mer enn noe her kommer fram, det blir en dokumentar på TV2, ikke sånn? Så blir det film, og så kanskje det kommer litt til noen revyer, det kan komme til 17. mai-tog i folketoget med plakater, det kan bli et orkester som dukker opp som heter Belle Gunness efterfølgere, eller noe sånt, Belle Gunness.
Det er faktisk et band i Amerika som heter Belle Gunness. Ja. Det første, så jeg letet på internett, det første jeg fant, det var at Belle Gunness hadde spilt på en konserthall i Minneapolis. Og det synes jeg var litt rart. Og så jeg fikk museet i La Porte til å sjekke opp det der, og da var det en sånn black metal-gruppe som kalte seg Belle Gunness. Og det er også et ølmerke i La Porte som er kalt opp etter Belle Gunness. Belle Gunness Stout.
Belle Gunness Stout. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good beer.
Is it popular?
Yeah, it's popular in the port. It's made right here in town.
Do you know why they call it the Belle Gunness?
Just because of the story of Belle Gunness, serial killer. It's a little stronger than your regular American beers, but not too bad. 847.
Som vokste opp i ei utrolig sånn klasetid. Belle Gunness. Det var bare å pugge, og det var liksom sånn fakta liksom hele tiden, og det var Guds ord da, som gikk igjen. I 1865 så har det aldri vært så mye folk i Selbu. Det var 5400 det. Da var plassene for små. De klarte ikke å livnære seg på
brorsan sin.
Things were not what they expected when they came over here. Oftentimes, I think letters were sent over from here to Norway that said it was better here than it was.
I think Belle found the United States to be big, roomy, ungovernable, lawless in many respects. So varied in people that nobody paid attention to her. That it was a good venue for what she wanted to do. Definitely money and property and status was very important to her. And looking good and making everybody think she was a very respectable citizen was extremely important. I think she liked doing things that would not be traceable, that people wouldn't come back and talk about. Which was a good business to be in at those days.
Her sister, she had the sister that brought her over from Norway. Her sister said she never had any children of her own.
Often wondered that. You worked during the day, and I had a father that worked nights and slept during the day. So knowing how that kind of a household is run, it's possible he knew very little to nothing. Intelligence would say he had to suspect something. But maybe he didn't. Maybe he just didn't want to believe it. I mean, your husband dies suddenly, and he has 2 insurance companies that she gets a double dose of insurance money, and they're not saying, well, okay. I don't know how she did that. Was she that charismatic, or was she that hysterical? Did she scream and cry and carry on and frighten everybody? I don't know. I'd love to know. Dr. Mueller.
Who was that?
He was a good friend of hers, and he was a friend of the family. Friend of the family being Friend of the family, what's that? She knew him.
Didn't she live with him? Wasn't he a tenant?
He was a tenant for a while, yeah. And you can speculate how that went. He did the autopsy. He came up with the verdict they needed for his death, Motz's death. You know, he came in and said, yep, he died of a large heart. Didn't check toxicology in the stomach. They didn't, which they did in those days, you know. They could have seen that he'd been poisoned, but they didn't do it. And Motz's brother wanted to have another autopsy, wanted to have him exhumed and have another autopsy. It was like $300 or $400, and they couldn't afford it, so they didn't do it.
Belle Gunness brought a lot of attention to LaPorte many years ago, and so it was good for LaPorte in many ways, but also a lot of people don't like the attention of Belle Gunness because of the fact that she killed a lot of people. There still seems to be a lot of interest in it. She was in the Guinness Book of World Records for many years, and so that really helped to put LaPorte on the map as well. Now on McClung Road, and all the property you see on the right was property that belonged at one time to Belle Gunness. It was part of her farm. This should be the spot, as far as I know.
That was a highly suspicious death anyway, that a meat cleaver or a meat grinder fell on his head, and that that was as mysterious as phony a death as her first husband in Chicago. A meat grinder falls off his head, and he's supposedly gets up and feels okay for a while, but he's going to go lay down for a while, and then next thing you know, the man's dead. But see, they couldn't prove anything. You know, they just couldn't, in those days you couldn't prove anything. So she got away with it again. The Gunness family thought that Belle was going to come after this young girl that was still living, and they thought they even saw her in a neighborhood by their house. So they took her to one of the relatives' farms, and just hid her away. And that's how they felt that she had, you know, they thought maybe Belle would have tried to kidnap her, take her away somehow. I mean, she was clever. If you've read any of her letters, oh. The postman would regularly visit her. She was always coming down to pick up the mail where he left it off, 1 to 4 letters every day, he said, almost. And his comment was that she seemed very disappointed or irritated even when there was nothing for him to deliver. But he was pretty busy going out there.
So she didn't kill them right away. Meet them at the train station, take them up to the house, feed them lovely Norwegian food and give them the whole homey thing. And the men were like bachelors. They're like, oh my God, this is wonderful.
She was exactly what she said she was in these newspapers. She was the owner of a 40-plus acre farm by herself. She had a very small mortgage. She had goats. She had pigs. She had pretty, for a single woman, you know, she was a pretty good catch, with the exception that she was a little hefty. But anyway, they came out here. She said, bring all your money. And they didn't sometimes. They were looking, you know, too. But I tell you, they spent one night with Belle, they went back, and they got their money.
So this is the First National Bank building. It was built in 1867. And this was the bank where the victims of Belle Gunness brought their money deposited in her account, this bank. And it's now a French restaurant called Café L'Amour.
Isn't it ironic?
The Café L'Amour, the cafe of love. And she lured these victims here for, was it for love or for money? I think it was for money.
And when she was ready to get rid of them, evidently she poisoned their food and then would go up in the night and hit them in the head with a hammer. A normal procedure.
What is it?
Well, this is a skull, and right here it says, found in outhouse, which is like the privy, on Gunness Farm. And look right here.
What's that?
I think it's a bullet hole. Or maybe it was made with an ice pick or something. I'm not sure. But we had an archaeologist here, and he said this was definitely Scandinavian forehead and stuff, that he could tell by looking at it that it was Scandinavian. So, kind of interesting.
Don't you know who it is?
Nope. We don't know who it is.
There were a lot of people that came here thinking that she had murdered one of their loved ones or relatives, and they were never found. So I don't know what parts she fed to them, or which people she fed to them.
She was very famous for the sausages, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, she was.
What do people of LaPorte think about that?
the dog that ate the bone. That
Yeah, Styles. He ate the bone and is eating garbage right now.
Styles, come here. This is the dog that ate the bone.
He's 2 years
Dug
old.
up on the property.
He's actually 2 years old. That's why he's so small.
The only time I ever feel spooked is if I'm outside and it's dark out, or if my house is dark and I look outside and it's dark, you know. Just the whole, you know, you have in your head what happened here, you know. So you kind of, you look outside and you say, you know, I'd pee on myself if I saw something walking through my yard, you know. That wasn't an animal or real human. I'd be like, oh, okay, so then I don't look outside for very long. And yeah, I've had 3 people so far have to leave the basement because they felt sick. It started one day, he just like talking to himself, and he's in his room, he's playing, he's talking, and you know, I was like, who are you talking to? And he was like, the ghost. And I'm like, there are no such things as a ghost. He's like, yeah, Mom. You know, and I'll be walking through the house picking up toys, and he says, Mom, the ghost wants to talk to you. I says, well, Devin, I can't see or hear the ghost, so no, one imaginary friend I can give a child, but when he's got several, you know, I mean, every time you turn around, he was talking to somebody different. It was never the same one. I'm like, you lost your mind, child. Like, okay.
Kind of scary, rather frightening. Okay, something's here. Still crossed. Still crossed. Want me to keep walking?
Just agree upon that if these things work, this place is crowded with bodies.
Mm-hmm. So there very well could be more. Whoop, it's crossing as I'm backing up.
This was, by the way, a presidential election year at this time, too, 1908. All the Republicans were saying that she was dead in the basement. All the Democrats were saying that she got away. head was never found. And of course, Belle had bridge work in her teeth, and there was some concern that they've never found that either. So they hired some miner from out west by the name of Schultz, who came here, and he set up a sluice operation like you were mining for gold, and he started looking through the debris for her teeth. And then this bridge work was found, and they took it to this doctor. His name was Dr. Norton, a dentist. And he said, yes, that was the work that he had done for Belle. So, you know, how could they have come through like that when it had melted watches and things like that? How did these teeth do this? They said he was out west somewhere and they couldn't reach him. So the person that found the teeth could never testify. It's once again back to the case where there were people that had their own ideas to defend, and they stuck by them. It's very strange because she was seen the day before downtown doing various things. She even bought kerosene, something that would aggravate the fire.
In fact, the night that she killed her kids, she had bought them presents and oranges and fed them a special dinner, and they played games. A Red Riding Hood game where the wolf gets Red Riding Hood and she was supposed to be clapping her hands. Joe Maxson gave that testimony.
There was a woman that no one had ever seen before. Later it was said that Ray Lamphere said it was somebody that she'd picked up in Chicago. And she was a much smaller woman than Belle. And, you know, she was never seen again. So the thought was that possibly that was her, that Belle had killed her and that was her in the basement. Belle tried to get Ray Lamphere, her ex-handyman, declared insane. Here's her signature at the bottom. This is the 28th day of March. So this is exactly a month before the fire. She said that he was silent, quiet, melancholy, restless, seclusive, dull, profane, filthy, and intemperate. She answered no to cheerful, violent, deaf, deformed, hysterical, and blind. He has been and is a hard drinker. I do not consider him insane. And that was the judgment, that he was not insane. No, it's an ex-judge. I think because she's afraid of what he was going to say. What he might say out in public for what he knew. So she tried to cover it this way, but like I said, this is 1 month before the fire. thing, and now she's got this going on, and you know, she's already been under suspicion because of the Gunness murder, so, and she's got Aesel coming to visit to find his brother. So there was every reason to get out, I guess.
And I don't think she could have done it without Smutzer or somebody. I really don't. I just don't see how you could do all that. And run a farm and then hide it from the children. And of course, you don't know how much was hidden from the children. The one little girl went to Sunday school and said, "My mama hit my papa with a meat cleaver, don't tell a soul." So I thought, well, that's not hidden.
Go inside and see what's going on. It's up to you. Do you want to? I've been in there for 30 years, probably.
I was raised in LaPorte, and as I was 10, 11, 12 years old, I used to go down and below the courthouse there, and one day someone told me to read that, and it's real dark and damp down there in that courthouse, and there I read all about Belle Gunness, and to this day I remember all about that, and now LaPorte's famous for that. Well, it's not famous, but that's all I got to say.
What?
Huh?
What did you say?
I said that's all I got to say.
She would be talking, she had a rapid way of speaking, and then all of a sudden she'd fix her eyes on you. That's what they said. She'd just fix her eyes on you very, very strongly. She clapped her hands, she'd get excited.
What did she do?
Clapped her hands, you know, like kids do. They get all delighted and happy, and it wasn't a very adult activity. It was an adult thing to do. And she was very childlike. Which, what a quality for somebody who was able to kill so many people.
Alle de her som flyttet ut fra så trange kår, de måtte tjenestegjøre for å skaffe seg penger til en billett over til USA. Og uten at de brukte 3-4 år og tjenestegjorde og la seg opp med kroner, så har ikke de nubbsjans til å komme seg over Atlanteren. Så de var rett og slett nødt til å gå ut i tjeneste.
Selbu der, da?
Det er et stykke unna Selbu. Dette var storkål. Dette var storkål. Formuende.
Her var det flott.
Ja.
Hei.
Bjørn Rødde. Hei. Jaha.
Ja, Torgeir Størseth. Torgeir Størseth.
Sånn.
Hei. Ja.
Mora mi som går der, da. Så jeg måtte gå seg en tur hva da.
Ja, bra. For kona begynte å. Så her bodde Belle?
Ja, det gjorde nok det.
Det var liksom tausloftet, da. Det er tausloftet her. Det var her, vet du.
tenk på hvor mange skritt som gått I den trappa her. Og her har hun Belle Gunness gått opp altså ganske mange ganger. Og hun har vært med på å slitte ned de trinnene. Du ser hvordan nedslitt de Så jeg skal få med et bilde av trappa der hun Belle Gunness gikk opp.
Men det er så rart, synes jeg, for hun fikk I mannfolkene når de kom med penger. De måtte ha med seg penger. Og de kom, og den måten hun gjorde det på, at det kunne gå an.
Og hun brukte jo litt sånn naive brev, men lokkende da, at nå kom og vær her, og nå har du slitt så mye, og du fortjener å ha noen roligere år, og så videre. Og det klart at hun brukte nok noe kvinnelig knep for å få han til å være interessert I å være der. Hun hadde nok en energi som hun utfoldet overfor mannfolka som kom, hun Belle. Som gjorde at hun fikk dem til å være og tro på at det her var noe å satse på. Men så ble de jo ikke så gamle da.
Nei. Hva det du har skjell på der nå? Når vi skal...
Må gå og så se. Ja, må komme rundt. Her et av offra. Her et av offra. Det en Andrew Helgelin. Armen var kuttet av, hodet var kuttet av, og låret var kuttet av her. Og så var det puttet ned I en sekk.
Kroppskramper og borti cerebral fordi at gifta har værsket på dem før de døde.
Ja, det helt forferdelig.
Jeg har bare hørt at hun ble sparket I maven på en fest, og at hun etter en hard diskusjon med en mann fra Selbu. Etter den dagen så ble ikke Belle den samme, og personligheten av Belle var ikke å kjenne igjen etter den episoden.
Og hvor langt hun var på vei, det ingen som vet. Kanskje hun hadde kommet ganske langt. Og gikk da etter en tidligfødsel eller abort alene, fordi at det var vel ingen som hjelpa. Og jeg tenker på, når jeg kikker på terrenget her, og når jeg kikker på avstand fra Selbusjøen, så synes jeg at det var veldig sterkt å tenke på, hvordan det måtte være. At det var en sønn på en storgård fra Selbu. Og da det vel det her med respekten for ei husmannsdatter var vel sikkert ikke så veldig stor. Ungen ble banket ut av henne. Hvis det skjedde da, nede med Selbusjøen da, ei natt, så det ganske dramatisk historie, fordi at bakgrunnen min I hvert fall for å tenke at hvorfor hun ble sånn og gjorde så mye rart at det ikke noe unnskyldning for det, men hun ble sikkert ødelagt på sinnet, tror jeg.
Gunness is our most famous citizen. We kept all the original receipts. Bruce, can you read those names?
So we have Mrs. Belle Gunness, Myrtle Sorensen. This would probably be Lucy Sorensen and Philip Gunness, the 3 children.
And at that time, in 1908, they charged, everything he did, they charged $300 to do it. Which now you couldn't do anything for that, of course.
I didn't really make up my mind to what I thought had happened to her until right at the end. And that was a newspaper that I'd gotten all the way up into 1931. And I saw, at that point, I saw a picture of a woman who had died in California that the authorities out there thought was Belle Gunness. She had been arrested for murdering a man out there, and she was in jail, but she had tuberculosis, and she died. I can't think of anything about women that even comes close to this. So, you know, it's 1 in a million. Thank heavens.
So I sleep with a white heart, once red and unbroken. I keep it apart, keep our love unspoken. Black and white, follow me into the blue light. A fool on the hill, what lies in the shadows, there's hypnosis.